Hey everybody, how you doing? Tonight I'm going to give you a quick video on how to set a panel in place in your sump so you can silicone it in. One thing to keep in mind, or a couple things to keep in mind, is if you're going to be using a glass tank like I am here, the best thing you can do is use glass paneling, okay, for your baffles. One reason being is if you were to use acrylic, for one, acrylic absorbs water. So if you were to make a real tight butt joint against each side, when that acrylic starts to absorb the water, it's going to swell out and put pressure on these side panels, and actually it could blow them out. That wouldn't be any fun for you to come home to and find half your display sitting on your floor. Another reason being is that silicone, it doesn't stick to acrylic very well, so if you were to use that, it's more of a temporary thing than anything. I mean, I've heard of people saying they never had any problems, but I mean, if you're going to do something, you should do it the right way, you know. So try to do glass to glass, acrylic to acrylic, whatever your preference is. Okay, let's get started with how I did my layout lines. That's the first thing you're going to want to do. This way you'll at least know where your panels are going to sit in your tank. They can go anywhere you want them. It's a DIY. It's your project. Do it how you want. This is how my layout goes. I just took a tape measure and pulled from one corner and, you know, made my markings on where I wanted my panels. Then I went to the other side, pulled the same measurements, so I have markings here and some layout lines here on the other side. Then you can use a Sharpie, paint pen, whatever to make your lines. I just took this speed square or framer square, set it up there, boom, made my runs. Quick and done. You can use a level, whatever you prefer. But once your layout markings are set, you can take your first glass panel and set it into place as so. And you can see, using your layout lines, it's going to sit where you want it to sit. That's where you want it. Now the markings kind of help you get it somewhat square and plumb, but you want to take that level or that same square, put it in there, and move your panel just to get yourself square and plumb. Pretty simple to do, just not cooperating. There we go. Now once you're square and plumb and your panel's in place, you take your super glue gel. Gel is the best thing to use for this. And you go just at the top, like an inch or so. Run a small little bead in there on each side, and then go to the other side of the panel. Do the same thing. Quick little bead, and let it set up. Now what you'll get here is this panel here that I set in last night. Let me see if I can show you. You can see how it dried up. It's set, and this panel is in place. It ain't moving. I could wiggle it around. It ain't going anywhere. The main reason for that is when you go to lay your beads of silicone, you won't have a chance of bumping the panel out of place or moving it around, which then you're going to have to clean it up and start all over again. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It works pretty well for me. And then you get this panel here that's been set and siliconed, and this one's done and in place. So if you guys are going to want to do, say, a bubble trap, so say you're going to have this same panel here, and say it's going to sit all the way up top, and it's going to sit off of the floor, or off of the bottom of the tank. A couple things you can use to keep it off is maybe a book, a couple CD cases to sit underneath there, and then just do the same thing. Get your panel in place, you know, plumb and square it, you know, little dabs of super glue until it sets up, and then you can go ahead and silicone it. Another thing I wanted to show you guys was for these panels here that are easy to get to with your fingers to smear the silicone to make your joint seals. It's real nice and easy to get to, but say, hey, this panel and this panel here, I can't squeeze my damn hand in there. So what I did was I took like a round plastic hanger and cut it right where it's, you know, where it starts to bend. It's pretty good diameter for this, and you can actually get your hand in there to get the silicone bead ran, but you can't put your finger all the way down at the bottom, or even say to run it along the bottom of the panel. So you take this, you run your bead in there with the silicone, and just go ahead and run it along, help smooth it in, spread that silicone into the joint, and it works pretty well for me. So that's an idea for some of you if you're wondering, how am I going to get the silicone in between these two tight panels? So I'm going to put another video out there, and I don't know, shortly after this, actually showing you how I silicone these panels into place. So I hope this video helps you out with actually getting your panels set and ready for silicone. And then later on tonight I'll actually show you applying the silicone into the joints. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope it helps out. See ya.